Hey guys, All Sports 83 sporting another video at you, and today's video is about the ISM Raceway for the Camber Cup series. I think this is week number 5 in the season, and after last week I'm tied for the points lead with Fluffy, so we're going to get right into the race here. This one was a lot of fun, a lot of close racing, and I enjoyed it a lot. This is not really a track that I'm particularly really super good at, but always a learning experience, and really enjoyed it, so let's jump right in. So I did not get a chance to qualify because I missed the mandatory practice throughout the week, but I was actually okay with that just because I'm not as good here, and I didn't want to start toward the front and get in guys' way, and so I was just as happy to really just kind of start toward the back and try to figure out what my rhythm was going to be. Got into the 48 car there a little bit. He got down in the apron, and we kind of ended up in the same spot in the middle of the corner there. But other than that, I'm really just trying to find a rhythm. And again, I don't get a lot of laps at this place, and I really struggled. But get our first caution in kind of early in the race. So now I'm going to reline up here in the 5th position. And so now I'm kind of up. I've had a couple of laps, so I've got a little bit of a feel. But it's I don't know. I just don't race this track very well, or typically I don't feel that I have. It seems like every time I get in here, there's guys that are just better than me, and there's going to be tracks like that. Can't be a ringer at every one of them. At least I can't be. But it's still a fun track. It's just more of a challenge for me. You see right there, coming down the front stretch, you really cut that apron, get down the dog leg there. Can really help your speed a lot. But there's a lot of close racing here. See there, I get in the wall, kind of messes up Jay Harris's momentum in the 21 car, and you see a little bit of that throughout this race. But it's a lot of fun, and I just really enjoyed it, but also enjoyed the challenge of just trying to get better at track that I'm typically not that good at. As you can see here, a really tight battle with the 14 car of Ty Racing 14. We did that for a couple of laps there. Tight racing, which was a lot of fun. He was able to hold that high line pretty good, and really binded me down coming off the corner. I had to let off, and it just made for good racing. A little bit later here, you can see a lot of the same thing with the 21 car of Jay Harris 3407. We seemed to race a lot during this race. We were around each other a lot, and we typically race each other pretty well, as is with most of these guys. So again, it was a lot of fun. It was a little tight corner coming off there, but we just kept going after each other and see if we could get that position, get ourselves in a nice position, try to get those as many stage points as possible, wrapping up stage number 1. A little bit later here, I jump in to try to go down pit road, and while I'm pitting, the caution comes out, so that really kind of ruined some of my strategy, and we had to get ready for a restart after that. Again, as is always with the challenge of these restarts, you're kind of all over each other. I spent a lot of time these first couple laps really just kind of checking up, didn't want to run over guys, and you can see them doing the same, which kind of made it worse for me. And so just trying to give everybody room, but also trying to get yourself in a good position. Just not a whole lot of that going on. We ended up getting so stacked up that caused a pretty big caution. So again, we had to go down pit road, kind of adjust our strategy again, and get ourselves ready for another restart. Again, you're going to see the same thing over and over with these restarts, just trying to give guys room, but you don't want to just let off and let the field get away from you. So it's a pretty difficult balancing act at times. You're just trying to stay in your lane and make sure that you have a good momentum without getting into other guys. So that's pretty much the way it works out. As you can see, I really struggled to find a consistent rhythm in the latter part of this first stage. Here coming on the last lap, I really was able to get a couple of positions. I think those guys just got into each other, and I was able to capitalize on them, making a little bit of contact. But then I have a little battle here with the 14 car coming to the stripe. Very close. I get in the wall, just overexcited, overdriving the corner. But it was a hold him off, get a 6th place finish. But it wasn't enough to get any stage points. And stage points really means a lot in this league. It can really help you stack up those points. Even if you don't get a good finish, if you get good stage points, it can really change the entire complexion of how that race goes for you. So no stage points in stage 1, and so now it's really just about trying to figure out what went wrong and figure out what I did wrong to try to have a better result at the end of stage number 2. I will say that it was around the beginning parts of stage 2 where I really felt like maybe I was getting a little better handle for this track. I made a couple of very small adjustments on the tire pressures and a little wedge adjustment, and it made the car feel a little better. As you can see here, I'm able to actually race with some of these guys that are racing in the top 5. I didn't feel like I was quite there just yet, but I felt a lot better at this point than I did at the beginning of the race, and so I'm just continuing to try to learn and see if I can get better as the race goes on. Another thing that I'd committed to was to just really race clean laps as much as I could. And really, a lot of times if you do that, you can capitalize on other guys' mistakes. They get in the wall or whatever, and then you just kind of keep going. I knew that I wasn't probably going to have the fastest car, but if I could just capitalize on other guys having inconsistent laps, if that came up, that would help me get a better finish. So I was able to utilize that a little bit. Outside of that, I just tried to race as clean as I could. A little bit later here, I decided to take 2 tires on the green flag pit stop. I was just doing anything I could to try to get in front of that 17 car. He was fast again as usual, but really 4 tires versus 2. He caught me very, very quickly. He had a pretty big gap on me before the pit stop started, so it didn't take him but a couple of laps to catch me, get around me. So it was a nice experiment, but it obviously did not work. And so I was back in behind him pretty quickly, and I think finishing 2nd place at the end of the stage after all the pit stops rounded out was a nice rebound after not getting any stage points in stage number 1. So surprisingly, at the beginning of the 3rd stage, I was able to kind of hold my position on the outside. I was excited about that. And then I get tucked in behind Fluffy here. And so really my thought is I just want to kind of run his line. As you see, I did. He got in the wall, and then I got in the wall. But really what I want to do here is I just want to follow him and see if I can learn anything from him. It doesn't always work because he's probably got a lot of other things he's doing with the car, setup wise, wedge, tire pressure, but really I'm just trying to learn what is he doing that I'm not doing that's making him faster. As you can see, as we go through each lap, he just inches away from me a little more each lap, and so I'm doing everything I can to try to learn at this point in the short time that I have. Then we get into a real big battle here with the 3 car of Earn It. We seem to do this a lot the latter part of this race. We raced each other pretty clean during this entire time. At this point, I'm feeling like I'm in trouble because I got stuck on that outside, and he caught me. I mean, I think he was probably almost a second behind me, and he caught me. So I'm thinking maybe he's a little faster than me. But then when I get behind him, I don't know if my line changed or my rhythm changed or whatever changed, but it just seemed like he got around me, but he couldn't get away from me. So we ended up doing quite a bit of racing for the next few laps here, and it was a lot of fun. Fast forward about 15 laps or so, as you can see, I'm still having that battle with the 3 car. We seem to seesaw back and forth quite a bit during that stretch, and we continue to do that here. As you can see, the 17 car way up there, he just continues to pull away just a little bit at a time. And then it's at this point we start seeing some green flag pit stops. You see a 12 car coming off pit road there. And so now you're thinking, what's the best option here? What's going to get you in the best position to try to maximize on your positions. For me, I'm thinking about a way to create some gap with this 3 car. If there's a way that I can pit that would maybe give him extra time, maybe short pitting, but also maybe hold off a little bit and have fresher tires on the back side of the run, which is what I elected to do. Almost ran out of fuel. And was able to get around the 21 car, who actually passed me on the track. I was trying to conserve. Had a pretty awful looking pit stop here, 16 seconds. Not a good pit stop at all. I seem to get a lot of those 16, 17 second pit stops in this game. I don't know why, but it's just, you got to live with it. And so I come back on the track here. I'm in the 4th position, and so again, I got to see do I have the car to work my way back through the track or back through the field. And just at this point, it's about trying to, again, go back to those consistent laps. I got to the 21 car there just a little bit, kind of put him up in the wall. Kind of feel bad about that, but certainly that was my fault. And just try to move on. We ended up having a caution come out after that, and so now I'm back in that position where I can try to maximize where I want to be. Again, it's back to that battle with the 3 car, and again, you're still trying to learn from that 17 car, but now I've got that 3 car all over me, so I got to be as worried about him as anything else, because at this point I know that I'm probably not going to drive away from him. He's got a pretty fast car. He's got a good rhythm around this track, so I just got to do everything I can to hopefully stay in front of him and maybe create a gap or try to get into a rhythm that allows me to stay in front of him. There's a lot of green flag racing that finished out this 3rd stage, and you can see we're going to fast forward about 30 laps or so. And I don't know what happened to the 3 car, but now he's in 5th, going. He is a lap down to the leader, and so now I'm trying to get around him just to keep that clean racetrack. I'm not sure what happened to him. He had some issues on the track, and ended up not having an opportunity to battle me toward the end. But we are coming to 2 to go, and I've got a little bit of a gap on the 3rd place car, so really at this point I'm not going to make up 9 seconds. I just want to hold off those guys and get a nice finish, 2nd place finish after 2 stages, one where I was really just trying to learn, and then I was able to rebound a little bit in stages 2 and 3. So it was a lot of fun race. I feel like I learned a lot throughout the course of the race. We'll move on to the point standings here. Obviously lost that points lead outright to Fluffy, but was able to hold on to second place in points. And you see a lot of little bit of shifting here and there, and but it was a lot of fun. And we're going to move on next week, and we'll definitely see you then. Okay, we'll see you next time.